All right, before I start, I want to say this video is very, very, very speculatory. And it's so speculatory that I'm literally just going to react to it. I'm probably not going to do much conversating on it. But here is a quick TLDR summary that I got from my Discord, right? Right here. So, TLDR leakers say Alira and her clique are real and acting as management. They are behind the bad PR takes recently. Uki suspended. Rose, Scarl, Fogger, Petra, Hex, Meliko, Gabe have been distant. Elira, Millie, Inna, Remu were counseled and have stopped talking about it publicly. Some livers are going along with everything because they aren't too bothered. Nothing said about Pomu. Okay, like I said, speculatory, not too sure. But here's a 24-minute video from that one Blue Squirrel VT. Let's check it out.
They have seen to sabotage her. We're talking about Pomu Rainpuff again. This time we got a little bit of a leak going on, saying that she was possibly sabotaged in her MGS, Metal Gear Solid, lifetime opportunity thing. Now we know it's Metal Gear Solid that was a lifetime opportunity. If this person is to be believed, of course you can consider this a tinfoil hat moment, or a moment, you know, take things with a grain of salt, because this is someone anonymous.
I feel like at this point, anything is possible when it comes to Nijisanji.
Saying that they are within the company. But this is what we're going for. Let's take a look. This was talking about Pomu specifically. Given then, you might not be able to or want to answer a very dumb question. You can plead the fifth. Who effed over Pomu's dream? My assumption is Japan management. I lived here for 7 years. I know that no is the automatic reaction. Anything that deviates from the manual. It'd genuinely break my heart if it was Ian management. Miscommunication and covert sabotage. So someone actually, according to this person, again, tinfoil hat time, according to this person, there was miscommunication about the Pomu initiative. The thing that Pomu said was her chance of a lifetime, her lifetime opportunity that was dropped and was not allowed to go through by Nijisanji. Covert sabotage can lead to the whole Illyra situation, because who else would want to sabotage? This is also tinfoil hat time. This is just my thoughts. It's as trite as many of you might have already surmised. It has to do with whom the face of the branch is supposed to be, coupled with general incompetence. Incidentally, it goes well beyond the Metal Gear Solid promotional initiative. So, according to this person, it was the Metal Gear Solid thing. It was the thing that later on went to Cali and Hololive. So that, of course, we know Pomu was the Metal Gear Solid fairy. She freaking loves Metal Gear Solid. So that would make sense that the Metal Gear Solid initiative was the one that was passed up, because it wasn't given to Illyra or whatever. It wasn't drawn towards Illyra or whatever. And they felt that Pomu would probably be a better fit. Maybe Metal Gear Solid did. This is, again, tinfoil hat time for me. And that just sucks. Covert sabotage and general incompetence makes sense. General incompetence makes sense. And who's the face of the branch? That really sucks. Poor Pomu. I'm glad she's gone and, like, enjoying herself now. She really does seem to be enjoying herself. So I'm glad she's out of that cesspool of a place. I really am. Mentioned that there was a possible queue of up to a year when it came to the livers being able to graduate. And someone asked, could we get a name or hint as next graduation is? I honestly do not know, because even though there's effectively a queue, the places in that queue are not known to me. The next one is, do you know if internal investigation's finished and if they're going to terminate Illyra or click or not? Well, when it comes to us that are only tangentially irrelevant, the investigation's probably finished. I don't know about the ones directly implicated, because, you know, the whole bad thing that happened with Illyra. We know that that was not good PR for them. To answer this next question, do people feel Selen overreacted, or is there a non-Discord communication that things were bad? No one is callous or bold enough to assert that, because S is a big deal in this culture, in the culture of VTubing and culture period, I think. But many have insinuated that she overreacted, or that drama tubers made it a bigger deal than it is. There are some that even tacitly asserted that what was alleged in the documents does not actually constitute harassment, because there was no physical violence employed. Wow, so some people...
Harassment isn't just physical. Just gonna let everybody know this that didn't know this already. Harassment is not just physical.
Actually believe, again, tinfoil hat, some people actually believe that because there was no physical violence, There was no physical stuff happening, no physical altercations. It was not harassment. There is actual emotional harassment. There is actual harassment that can be done just through voice, just through actions, not actually, through getting actually someone hurt. Some people are generally morally insolvent and solipsistic.
I don't know. I don't even know who has this opinion that if it's not physical, then it's not harassment. And I think if you were to go through everybody's VODs and videos and past streams and maybe put some comments together, you could probably figure it out.
Solipsistic. I don't know what that means. Solipsistic. Let's see. Is it obvious that graduated levers is Kyo confirmed Daft's recent attacks against Doki? Anons keep coping about Pomu solidarity with Doki interactions, but not Nina, who had no problem being friendly with Kyo. Make believe she's more likely openly siding with Illyria to do it with Doki. Nina was a recipient of very much the same flavor of harassment as Selene, but she was very quickly internalized in her place in the hierarchy. Selene was independent, ambitious, and honest. That was her gravest sin. That's what I was saying before. She had too much drive. She had too much creativity. She was too independent. Companies, big organizations don't like that. They want you to go lockstep and barrel and just go with whatever they have, which is what Nina did because she wanted to fit in. I don't blame her for that. I mean, a lot of times you want to fit in and have a good environment that you're working in, and you don't want to ruffle feathers. She didn't want to ruffle feathers. Selene seemed to be more the type of person that she was.
So I would say this about Nina Kosaka. She did actually do a lot of creative things for the company, right? She did like the Theory game show. She was putting a lot of stuff together. So unfortunately, I would have to say it would make sense if that was the reason why she stepped away from the company, because maybe she felt creatively hindered. And that would make sense why K9 Curl left, because creatively hindered, not having fun.
Was very independent and would ruffle feathers. She would actually do things negatively like that because, negative for the organization, that is. So that's why Nina supposedly wasn't harassed as badly, because she went in line and was actually, following what people were telling her in the sense of keeping things kumbaya, That's kind of crazy. And on continues, and this time a little bit with the Skarda stuff. They're talking about what happened in 3D Pipeline, Obsidia having nothing a solid year later. There's a confusion and disappointment. It's not even a major point of discussion, all things considered. So it's kind of getting pushed to the back burner. Any talks, rumors about planning new attacks on Doki and a long shot on Sayu. I suspect they're going to keep fabricating PR initiatives and grassroots stunts. A recently graduated liver expressly agreed to get in touch with influencers and Twitter personalities after all. So yes, the rumor about them trying to do PR grassroots things and talk to influencers seems to be true for that most part. The last one is what happened to Scarlet stuff? Did she take it down? Did management make her? If you're referencing to Valentine's, it was most likely a miscommunication and time management. If you're referring to the Hardy comment, she was technically reprimanded, but no action was taken, and it was not considered to be a major infraction. Management cannot afford to make martyrs out of livers, as they already have in the past.
Basically, if they even wanted to, so what happened was Scarl liked the comment on Twitter that said KhunShawn some shit, black company something. Basically saying like, even though they got mad at Scarl, they can't really do anything to her due to the fact if they do something to her, they would make themselves look even worse than how they are. But it's like, bro, you guys already look so bad at this point. You might as well just not do anything. You might as well let her keep the like up, to be honest.
You can't make a martyr out of her because then you get the Doki Bird situation, which will hurt them even longer in the long run. It will hurt them even more. And you don't want that, especially as a big company. So now continuing on, he's answering even more questions, which are, have the livers ever talked about harassment that Zion got when she was terminated? Did any of them feel bad about throwing her under the bus? Were Finana and Kotaka encouraged to talk bad about her? Expressing solidarity or coming out to the defense of Zion is verboten in Nijisanji, which means forbidden in Nijisanji. So Zion is a black sheep. Nijisanji, according to this person, does not want, again, tinfoil hat, does not want anyone talking good about Zion or even talking about Zion. You have to realize what the culture is like. I'm sure a lot of us were awestruck when she was terminated over.
I feel like that's a thing for all livers, right? They don't talk about Yugo either, And Yugo, they separated, they graduated, right? So I feel like in general, they just don't like talking about their past livers, right? They don't even talk about Mista They don't talk about Pomu, right? Obviously, they're never going to talk about Selene, but I feel like that's just something that's always happened. Like, I don't expect them to really talk about Kyo now that Kyo's graduated. I feel like it's going to continue on. The show must go on, as they say. That's probably what's going to happen.
Minor infractions, but not outwardly expressed it.
But they could always play that off as like, hey, we just don't want to bring up the good memories and get sad. So it's not necessarily, and that might also be true. They might not want to get sad about, hey, their friends are leaving.
There's only one correct opinion. So that's like a cult in there. They want you to have a correct opinion, pretty much. They're very cult-like in their ways. So why are you feeling?
I mean, that's obvious if you listen to the debut music. If you listen to the debut music and like read the lyrics, like, yeah, of course.
So comfortable in sharing so many details, they could easily guess who you are. Are you not worried about that? They cannot afford to action against me, even if they manage to figure out who I am. What I am doing is considerably more benign than what others have done, without so much as getting a suspension. So apparently other people, like people have said Luca has done a lot. Other people have been leaking so much more information that, and they have not gotten into any trouble. So why would he get in trouble? Because he's doing something very benign, just, dispelling rumors or actually.
You're not really dispelling. If anything, you're creating more rumors. But I feel like if this person gets found out, they would definitely get in more trouble than Luca Kaneshiro did. Because Luca Kaneshiro was giving access to his like Minecraft server and shit like that. And even though that is against the rules, right? It's like, at this point, it's not that big a deal, even though it is a huge deal, right? That is a huge deal to have somebody have access to a corporate account, even if they're just creating shit in Minecraft, right? That is a big deal. But this is an even greater deal because this could be seen as corporate espionage. Hopefully it wouldn't, but it could. It honestly could.
Actually, making rumors be true. Right here. Are any of the organs openly seeing about Doki's success? I'm not asking about names, see if there are any. They're seething, yes. A lot of people are seething, very much so seething on Doki Bird's success, which makes me very happy because the fact is they're not getting success because they're just not doing things in a proper way, in the sense of, bringing a good community through, bringing good things upon here, and, just doing that the proper way,
Bro, I don't necessarily disagree with what you're saying, but I think it's deeper than that. It's the fan base of Nijisanji. They're fans of the Livers, but essentially they are fans of Nijisanji. Even if they want to say they don't like the company, they like the Livers. They like that culture of Nijisanji. Well, the culture that was before, right? The golden age back when Nina Kosaka was there, right? That was like the golden age when everybody was there and everybody was happy. Excuse me. Only a couple people were upset at the Zion stuff. It was only literally the Zion fan base that was upset about it, right? Even members of Exolay threw Zion under the bus. It's like, yeah, she did this, she said this, she hurt my feelings, yada yada yada, right? Creating more of a, hey, if you agree with Zion, you're just in the wrong. Because as they say several times, you rather listen to drama tubers than listen to the livers. They take the word of the livers as gospel, which is very concerning. Very concerning. Should you listen to the livers in a sense? Yes, of course. But you definitely should not be listening to the livers when it comes down to politics inside the company. You just shouldn't, because it's in their best interest to side with the company because they work for said company. If they were going to talk about, hey, I don't want to talk about movies because I don't want people to be spoiled, right? I don't want people to be spoiled on movies. So like in that stream, they don't talk about movies. That's totally fine. Sure, if there's a scandal about a movie, it's like, take it from the livers. They said they don't like movies. Okay. But if it's anything involving the company, you definitely should take everything they say with a grain of salt, or at least look at it under a microscope if you have to. If you have to.
You know what I mean? Next is, I do have a couple questions. Have the livers still in the company changed their feelings towards it? For example, have they started talking back against management or often expressed their disappointment in it? And second, have any of them supported the decisions made by graduated or terminated livers like Pomo or Selene? Yes. Jokes about branch shutting down, going unemployed, or something of a regular pastime. They never quite so far as attack the company, but they let it slip often. The only correct stance to take is to bemoan the damage Selene has done, or how even her qualms are justified. No one dares minimize such suicide outright. The drama tubers and toxic aunties blew out of proportions and mischaracterized the whole ordeal. This is the gestalt. This is the whole thing. They often qualify how serious and scary S is, only to proceed to besmirch and attack Selene's character. Duplicity is a forte of many. I knew there was duplicity because you freaking look at Vox. Vox was duplicitous big time. He was backstabbing Selene whilst trying to say the S is wrong and that people should be protected who in order to not have to deal with that. You can tell a lot of people are duplicitous there. Again, continuing.
Bro, who threw a shoe at your head, boy?
About communication or fallout from JP management. The only communication we've gotten is in the form of tutoring, debriefing on the PR stream. Again, Illyra, Anna, Millie, and Reimu got further communication, but I don't know what that entailed. How newer members are understandably not intimate with how things work and might believe most, if not all, of what's happening is not representative of reality. They might genuinely believe their family.
Yeah, and on top of that, they literally just got the job, so it would behoove them to agree with the senpai. The senpai said, hey, it's not that big a deal. Hey, it's not normally like this. Hey, it's being blown out of proportion. Hey, drama tubers. They don't know, right? And that's why Vivi was talking her crap online. She was talking crap too. And it's like, Vivi, shut the fuck up. Legitimately. Victoria Brightshield, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about at all. You are literally a rookie. You literally just stepped up to the plate. Even UQ Wilson has more stake in the game than you do. Stop talking. Stop. Everybody in Auntie Kunai, she's okay. She's okay. Claude, Uncle Claude, he be playing games with Uncle Banta. He's not really an uncle. I'm just trying to. Auntie Kunai is sticking, okay? Auntie Kunai is legitimately auntie. I think she's like either early 30s or late 20s, man. That's Auntie Kunai for real.
Family is infallible, and everything's elaborate mischaracterization. You cannot overestimate ignorance and preconceived notions. I am effectively living a double life. I have emotionally distanced myself enough to not let it all affect me too much.
You'd have to.
Yes, I am actively considering my options and making plans.
You'd have
about
to.
Graduating and how they're dealing with the whole situation. And about this question about mental health. This is the first thing he did. He fortunately did have a solid support structure outside of the industry, which includes family and friends. And the question was, see how you can mitigate your exposure and perhaps grit your teeth and set aside your rainy day fund to pay out minimum fines possible. Getting ahead of potential Selene-esque smear by priming your trusted contacts with social media followings to get a message out and softening reputational damage. So he did this. He had protections against reputational damage, protections against, any bad things popping up. He made sure to have a good support structure, which is very important. All these things are very important, but it's sad that a liver from a company has to actually do this and has to actually worry about this kind of stuff.
I feel like everybody should do that. If you're working for any company or corporation, you should always do that. Always, always, always. No matter if you're working for Nijisanji or if you're working for Amazon, you need to do that.
Stuff. I really can't believe that people have to do this.
You
should
should.
Be actually protecting you. But then again,
never expect a company or corporation to protect you. Never, never, ever, ever, never, ever, never, ever, ever. This is wisdom coming from your boy KhunShawn. Don't do that. Yeah, they will fuck you. Literally.
It's a large corporation. So who knows? Again, people in 4chan are, going back to old things as well. Something that was said a long time ago about another person that was supposedly doing rats and things like that. This person said, your inferences have been largely correct. Illyra is, for all intents and purposes, a manager, insofar as she effectively decides which projects will be pursued, which liver will be prioritized for permissions, and which livers will be picked for collaborations, sponsorships, public opportunities, and whether a liver's correspondence will actually reach Nijisanji's management. She has also assumed the role of mediator between the main branch management and English branch management when it comes to liver's complaints, feedback, and interpersonal altercations. This is mainly done via one...
What the hell? That's not good at all. That's not good at all. like legitimately management is supposed to deal with interpersonal issues. So if let me say okay, so say Celine had an issue with Nina Kosaka, they should go to a manager. But in this case, the manager would be Alira Pandora. And Alira would technically have known Celine longer, right? So then there would be a bias against Nina Kosaka. And this is just literally a made up situation besides the Lyra part because Lyra is the management, so, supposedly, so I don't get sued. I mean, it goes to show that this is not good practice.
On one discussion on a Discord server where the liver will express their concerns, feedback, complaints to Alira, with the understanding that Alira will then forward the contents of the discussion to management if mediation amongst co-workers cannot be achieved. Her real-life, long-term friends, Anna and Millie, have effectively assumed the role of assistants. Some livers didn't have an intricate, holistic insight
And you know why that has to be true, unfortunately, if it is true, right? So I don't get sued. It's like, yeah, they made a video a year ago saying that Alira made a video a year ago, right? I saw it maybe like last month saying that her, Anna, and Millie were friends before Nijisanji. Alira got into Nijisanji, and then next thing you know, Anna and Millie makes it in, and she's like, "What the heck? How'd you guys get in here?" Then again, if Alira was management at the time, and we know that Nijisanji talents do the interviews, and people can get in based off recommendation. I mean, let's be real. How likely is it that you and your best friend get into the same company as your tertiary best friend that's already in there? How often does that happen? Let me know. Let me fucking know. Okay? Because the math is mathing. The math is motherfucking mathing. You know how I usually say the math ain't mathing? Bro, the math is motherfucking mathing right now. Okay? And if the math is mathing, hey, math is mathing. It is what it is. I'm just saying it lines up. If it's true, if it's true, it lines up. It lines up.
Purview, scope of power, and ability to sabotage, harass, and marginalize her coworkers. They were under the impression she was just a benign mediator, nothing more than an interpreter or an official.
And that's what she should do if she is management. If she is management, I don't want to call Alira Pandora's character into question. I don't want to call the woman behind Alira Pandora into question because I don't know the woman. But I will say humans are fallible and humans do often protect their friends and hurt people that aren't their friends. If it comes down to helping a friend or helping someone that's not your friend, a lot of people will help the friend even if the friend is in the wrong. How many times have you heard, "Free my boy, he did nothing wrong"? And it's like, bro, your friend was out here shooting up the grocery store. What do you mean he did nothing wrong? Oh, he didn't kill nobody. It's like, bro, what are you talking about?
An ambassador, so kindly don't direct your ire towards everyone indiscriminately. As for who else is implicated, let me reiterate that it should become clear in the near future. So this is another little piece of information that, yes, verifies that she was, I mean, the rat, it's a rat, so take it with tinfoil hat. She may have been a mediator in between, and that's where she got a lot of favoritism. When he continues to answer more questions about what's going on, about Doppio, we're not close, but he happens to be a good guy, no issues whatsoever. Not going to say more unless you figure out my gen. Here, when it comes to were some of the livers upset if they found a content said stream, anyone felt betrayed? I'm sure
I would say it seemed like Doppio was always a nice guy. He's literally a chuny. He's literally talking about justice all the time, right? And that's not an act. Doppio Drop Scythe legitimately has some mental health issues, right? And I'm laughing about it because it's like, yeah, of course they do. They all do. And I'm part of that. I have mental health, bro. I literally take medication every day, right? So it's like, of course, Doppio is going to be the good guy. I've already stated, oh man, I have a video a long time ago. It was like the bullyable, the cute, and like, it was a chart basically. And I did every single person from Nijisanji En. And like literally in the complete center of everything was Doppio Drop Scythe, because I believe Doppio Drop Scythe is legitimately the antithesis of what a corporate VTuber should be. He should be crazy, spontaneous, have fun, care about the community, and just have a good time. And every time I see a Dopey clip, and it's like, there it is. Yeah, he's just having a good time. He's just having a good time. And it hurts because it's like, I really want Dopey to be happy, and I really want more people to just have fun. But how can you have fun when there are legitimate politics being held in your corporation? When favoritism has been shown, when due process isn't being done. It's tough.
They would feel that way. It says you appear to be assuming it was a live stream. It wasn't a live stream apparently. It was like Discord call. This is a bit more personal. I don't expect you to know, but what's with Kotsuka? Is it mental issues? She didn't see herself. Sorry, no idea. We were told it was something stress-related, and she only mentioned stepping back for mental health issues. When answering a question, is she part of the management as well, Millie? There's no actual concrete management in Nijisanji En, which is what we were all thinking. We were all thinking this, but it was verified here. For the regular liver,
Supposedly verified.
the closest thing to a manager
So you don't get sued.
is Alira, Millie, Anna, and her little helpers. Unless, of course, you want to jump through hoops,
Supposedly.
trying to ping people on Slack and being passed around, all the while receiving contradictory instructions. About the thing that I recently read, the post that the person made about, Alira being in cahoots and really in power, this is the same person who made that post. A liver had to wait close to a year, and another had to wait a little over 6 months to actually graduate. So there's an actual queue for graduations.
Which would make sense. There's a queue for graduations, but I'm confused if these people are signing contracts, how they can't just leave after their contract has expired, regardless if it's a graduation or not. Literally drop a video like, hey, guys, I'm done working for the company. My contract's expired, so I'm leaving. Here's my final message. No graduation. Catch me on my other social medias. Peace. I'm just saying, like, if you sign a contract for 1 year and it's like the year is up, fuck a graduation. They can't sue you. Your contract is expired.
According to this person, there's an actual queue for graduations, and it could take you up to 6 months to graduate. Some had to wait a month, some had to wait a year, some had to wait 6 months. It really depends on how much.
How do you wait a year to be a year is a long time to not give a shit, in the words of my boy Frenchapino. 1 year is a long time to not give a shit. You could do a lot of damage to a company in a year.
A year, imagine.
They did a lot of damage to the company in like 2 months.
A year to graduate. You want to be out of here, and they won't let you do it for a year. What the heck is that all about? That's really messed
you
up.
could just
If
leave.
True, it's messed up.
You could just
and
leave.
Right here,
no way.
Are you aware of any other communications from up above other than PR and those you've mentioned already? Alira is in communication with the main branch as well, Nijisanji En managers that, interestingly enough, can't really speak English. But I don't know the specifics on who she's in contact with or what entails. As for the rest of us, we talked with HR during our orientation, the onboarding managers, and the PR managers just recently. So
HR
there
is not for
seems
you.
to be managers in EGEN who don't even really speak English, which is weird.
Well, no, that's not weird. It's a Japanese organization and a Japanese company. And to pretend that they're going to, especially after looking at the receipts of Nijisanji trying to hire legal staff for pennies on the dollar, legitimately pennies on the dollar. You really think that they're going to come out here and hire a bilingual expert, someone that's fluent in English and Japanese, to work for pennies on the dollar? The only one doing that is Alira. She speaks Japanese and English. And so do a couple of other talents. Those would legitimately be the only ones that you would have do management for pennies on the dollar, because they're legitimately your slave. So you can literally pay them pennies on the dollar to do it. I'm telling you, the math is fucking mathing. You got to get them neurons firing, baby.
And you only really talk to HR when you really get in, and beyond
Don't
that,
talk to HR. They ain't helping you.
This is, if the rat is real, it's kind of crazy. It's pretty darn crazy.
The math is mathing.
Continuation of what we were reading before. Yes, there were lengthy discussions. Scarlett is not associating too closely with coworkers, understandably.
Smart.
She's keeping a professional demeanor,
Smart.
is polite to everyone,
Smart.
and generally accommodating.
Smart.
She distanced herself after livers grouped up and effectively pressured her to make up with another liver to signal how close they are. This is not all uncommon within Nijisanji, and this type of interventions are commonplace. So, people cannot decide who they...
I also gotta add, I just said I wasn't gonna even really react to this, like really talk, but man, this part of the video got me talking a lot, because it's like, bro, you, like, when I first started this video, the dots were like this, and I'm just like, how y'all gonna connect me? Because I'm not on 4chan. All I got is my Discord. Join the Discord, go to the debate in the theory section. Shout out to my boy Nunn. He's the one who put me onto this. It's like, yo, there's some shit going on. And also, let me just shout them out. Fuck it, here it is. Here's my boys. They letting me know. They letting me know. And then someone else let me know. In general, we just be chilling. Vtuber chat, maybe? It's like, well, we talk about a whole bunch of shit. But yeah, come to the Discord. Somebody sent me a link to this video. I don't remember who, but they sent me a link to this video, and I said, I'll check it out. Shout out to you. You know who you are.
People cannot decide who they talk to and not talk to.
Of course. Always want so you don't talk to anybody.
Lord type of thing.
Fuck no.
So they are forcing livers to talk to one another, even if they don't like each other.
No, you don't do that. You don't do that. You don't do that. You don't do that. The reason why they're trying to do that, so collabs can run way more smoothly. But you cannot always do that. Not everybody is going to be cool with everybody. That's just how it works in life. Not everybody's going to be cool with everybody, even in the same gen. Not everybody's going to be cool with everybody in the same gen. Literally, Etheria, Nina was literally the odd one out for like the first couple months. And then they finally was like, okay, we'll let Nina in. This is how it is.
Maybe wanting to have, like I said, a kumbaya moment, a little, all unity within the thing or whatever. But this is just weird. It really is just very strange that this is going on the way that it is. You know what I mean? It really is very odd that something like this is taking the rounds or whatever you want to call it. I know people are really not turning on each other. People are distancing themselves and creating tight-knit groups while maintaining the veneer of a big functional family. Okay. So they're going into click mode again. They're going into click mode to protect each other, which, kind of makes sense when you think about it. Click mode can protect you from a lot of different things. I don't know, to be honest. Lyra talked with the main branch, and then after some back and forth, she, Millie, and Vox told us to retweet the stream. I presume some livers watched it before retweeting, quote tweeting, but I didn't. Oh, so the click was like, you have to repost this. You must repost this. And people knew if they didn't repost this, this is
they
me
put
saying,
on a shit list.
Me editorializing a little bit.
They put on a shit list.
Then there were going to be issues. Things were going to happen.
This is obvious. Well, I don't know if things were going to happen, but they would be on a shit list. It's like, hey, this is mandatory. You have to do this. Even though technically speaking, it's not mandatory. It's just something that they're falsely enforcing, right? It's like, hey, it's like a test, basically. It's like, this is our click. This is the test. Retweet this shit and don't think about it. And let's see what happened. It's literally a test, bro. And then like when everybody started tweeting shit about the artist, the support for the artist, it's like, boom. Of course, nobody told them to do that, but obviously someone told them to do that. You feel me? It's like blatantly obvious because every single person was doing it at the same time. They didn't even trickle it out. They didn't even think it all the way through. They were just like, let's automatically all just say some shit about artists. And then Uki fell for bait. Then Yuku Wilson fell for bait. Then Vivi fell for bait. Because they're not PR trained. They're not managed properly. You see? When I say the math ain't mathing, when I say the math is mathing now, bro, the math is fucking mathing. When I said it was all like this, it was all like that. And then homeboy here, shout out to that one blue squirrel. Hit the sub, hit a like, brother, because you put the dots, you put the lines. You put the lines on the dots because the dots were everywhere, and like you put in the line. Sometimes you miss a dot, but that's okay because I can fill it in myself because I have prior knowledge. So every time you missing something, I got it. I just don't want to say it out loud. Obviously, I'm not going to say it out loud.
An interesting way of seeing things. That's an interesting way of doing things. I don't know. I mean, it hasn't really worked well out for them, Cotton. I don't think. This person is also like, it's a rat. It's a person saying things. It's unverified, etc. It says, I take it you have noticed the grassroots push to shift the narrative that I'd mentioned in the thread a couple days ago. This is only the beginning. The livers in question plan to make an even bigger splash.
But they are gonna fail. They are gonna fail successfully because they are not intelligent enough to actually coordinate properly and actually create an actual campaign of legitimacy, especially with the history and all this other stuff coming out left and right. You guys legitimately in Nijisanji Ian need to apologize. That's literally it. It's literally the trump card that you guys have not used. It's the trump card you probably didn't even think about. It's the trump card that will legitimately make you look better. It's just apologize for everything. The Zion, the Yugo, the Selene, the Nina, the Mista, the Nijisanji India, right? And now I'm talking to Nijisanji as a whole. Nijisanji Indonesia there needs to be apology to them. Mika Melitica, apology to her. Pomu Rainpuff. There needs to be apologies all around the company. It's not just Nijisanji En. They are literally just the latest and the greatest of all the mess ups. They have a track list spanning years. And whenever they made their first mistake, whether it was hiring 200 livers at once and not having them get any mental counseling, then that's where you got to start. You got to start with an apology.
In anticipation of Alira's return to streaming, they came to the conclusion the backlash is negligible. I highly doubt it. I mean, it keeps going. Everything keeps going. So that the backlash is not negligible. And that they can easily control their communities with 4-week subscriber chats. Oh, dang. 4-week subscribers. You have to be a 1-month subscriber? Wow. That's pretty bad. Membership streams and heavy moderation. Uki Violeta has been given a suspension. That doesn't surprise me. But management...
It needs to be public.
...did not specify a set duration. He's already flirting with the idea of engaging his fanbase and NYFCO for a Twitter counterattack. The livers are trying to distance themselves while walking on eggshells. Which, I mean, it makes sense. You don't want to be associated with a toxic person or someone that is toxic at the moment. If you're just thinking of your brand, you definitely don't want that. Yes, to support the artist was a premeditated PR initiative, as a lot of people thought. Again, this is a rat, but it all seems to fit in. It all seems to fit in. That was very, very calculated because every single person said that's pretty much the same type of post after that. It's good messaging, but it seemed very too convenient. Again, tinfoil hat moment. Tinfoil hat moment. Just saying, take it as you will. No, it did not come from management. There have been discussions on Discord and some livers took it themselves to tweet. They were brainstorming ideas and checking with each other about how they should form their tweets. Fox was not given a suspension, as far as I know. He simply opted to take a break, citing mental health, even though management encouraged him to have a membership stream because he is the favorite. Anna, Millie, Alira, and Reimu have clamped up. Most of us have no idea what they've been told, but they have been separately coached by PR managers as well as legal. Rosemi, Scarla, Folger, Petra, Hex, and Meloko have noticeably been more distant. Anna complained.
Here's the video. It was in the Discord video request. Shout out to I can't see their name because I'm streaming or recording.
Extensively about the noticeable decrease in revenue in the wake of her latest special stream. So everybody's been noticing some kind of drop. Some livers have taken to calling Dookie Bird, which is childish. It's like freaking, you're in middle school or even
Dookie Bird. Oh my god, what the fuck? And this is the mentality we're dealing with. It's like, yeah, it is childish. Bro, they're listen to their stories. If we're gonna assume who do you think is making, who do you think would say this as a name? Just keep it to yourself. Don't put it in the comments. Don't say it out loud. Who do you think came up with this nickname? And now think about all the stories that this person has talked about when it comes to their personal life. And I'm telling you, the math is math. And of course they're childish. The math is mathing. Look at the streams. Look at how they act. Yeah.
Elementary school at this point. Dookie Bird is the best you could do, but either way, you're doing this like that? I mean, dude, really, what the hell? Learn to freaking be an adult, for God's sakes.
You don't just learn how to be an adult online. You learn how to be an adult in the real world. But a lot of these people don't go to the real world because the real world is scary.
You are a literal child by saying these things. You are just like, what the heck? A lot of discussions about drama tubers on Discord, but Slack is spotless. A lot of paranoid schizophrenia manifesting as fear of typing anything out on Discord, with the livers opting to hop in voice chat even for simple confirmations and refusals. If you have questions, ask away, so long as they don't jeopardize my OPSEC and non-disclosure or non-disparagement agreements. People, like, that bully thing, it's like tiny bullying. It's like childish bullying. It doesn't make sense why people are... Dookie Bird? I mean, seriously, I'm still stuck on that. I'm sorry. But Dookie Bird? It just doesn't make sense. It's just really weird. I mean, it kind of does make sense since the rat also is that they get young people like straight out of high school, maybe straight out of college, or not even going to college yet. They get them really young to be able to take advantage of them because they're not aware of their fiscal rights. So that's one of those things, I think. Here we have a bit more information about some other things that the person claims is happening within Nijisanji EN. This is a rat right now, as in it's like it's unverified, but you know, it's always nice to read these things, always nice to take a look at these things and see how things are going. So this person says, livers were initially afraid of sheer backlash making their streams unmanageable. They now believe they can comfortably moderate their streams and multiply and employ methods that make issues moot. They believe they overestimated the backlash they would get in their streams in the form of chat and incendiary super chats. They have lamented over the loss of subscribers, concurrent viewers, and revenue, but they were considerably more afraid of their career ending. I know people on 4chan like to joke about 2% merchandise cuts, but the reality is that livers live very comfortable lives in comparison to what they were making in their past lives. And in answering a question about Uki, he says, Uki has been suspended. This is not speculative. He mentioned it on Discord.
Of course. The issue is it's a stealth suspension. And I think we're not saying it loud enough. The issue is stealth suspensions. Because until what mid or late last year, it was just a rumor, right? Until it was confirmed. So every single suspension that we looked at, it's like, oh, this person said they're going to take a break. Well, what did they do? And now it's a stealth suspension. So now we have proof that Nijisanji has literally been covering stuff up since the very beginning, which is obviously obvious, especially in hindsight, but hindsight's 2020. Of course, in the moment, you wouldn't expect that or think about that. Now that it's a thing, you might as well just say, hey, we're going to put this person in timeout. Put them as an example. Hey, Uki, what you said, blase, he's going to be in timeout for a week. It's literally it. And then once he comes back from timeout, boom, he already did his time. It's like people that go to jail in real life. Like people say the best thing to do is to go to jail whenever people do something wrong. And of course, they don't want to go to jail because jail's a terrible place. But that's literally the best case scenario. If you got away with something and you're on the run, or maybe you weren't convicted of something. So like personally, I'm going to say the EDP 445 situation, right? You don't remember there was this big guy and he was trying to get with minors, right? And it was a sting operation from YouTubers. And that's the reason why he didn't go to jail, because it wasn't an actual investigation by police, right? It was people that wanted to be police or wanted to help police, but they did such a messy job that he got away. Now, he didn't get away in a court of public opinion, right? So, like, he lost his YouTube channel. He lost a whole bunch of shit. He lost his money, had to sell his guns. Like, he literally went from making a lot of money every month from YouTube to being legitimately homeless and having to live in his car and, like, work for Uber Eats and DoorDash and shit. But he was still a public figure. So somebody be like, oh, my God, EDP is delivering my food, right? And now they meme on him till this day. And I feel if he went to jail, if he went to prison for however many years, 2 years, 4 years, I don't know how long they were going to give him, right? After you get out of jail, more people in the court of public opinion will be more open to you. At least people wouldn't mind, because jail is supposed to be rehabilitation, right? What jail really is, not really rehabilitation. It's up to the prisoners whether they want to be rehabilitated or not, because prison is literally just a cage full of animals. Because the prison industrial complex is a shitty thing, right? That's more real life stuff that you guys don't know about, because y'all don't know about life, and that's okay. It's not okay, but it is okay in this instance. If he would have went to jail, I think more people would have been like, okay, like, yeah, what you did was fucked up, but you went to jail. You are rehabilitated. And maybe he would really be rehabilitated. Maybe jail would literally help him. I've heard stories of people when they're younger, it's like they're sent to juvenile, or they're sent to jail, and they're like, okay, well, I learned my lesson, I learned my way. Some prisoners make YouTube channels. They make YouTube. 1090 Jake, he went to jail. There was another guy I was watching, he went to jail. He was telling stories about prison. There's a lot of prison YouTubers, and now they make a lot of money just telling their stories, right? They're rehabilitated, and they give warnings. Hey, don't be like me. There are people that were in the mafia on YouTube. Hey, don't do what I did. Don't do what I did, because I lost people, right? There's lessons to be learned in life on this platform. But if you guys only stay in the bubble of entertainment and safety, you will never really educate yourselves or learn anything. Because I did a poll, and I asked you guys, do you guys focus on more education or entertainment? And let's see right here. Boom, 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 boom. How much of your life spent on education and entertainment? 400 votes, 50-50. And then 55% more entertainment than education. Right here. It's right here. 481 people voted. And these aren't just people in my like circle. This is legitimately like community polls if you do them daily, right? This is why I'm doing them daily again. Because I used to do them daily, and it would get thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of votes. Down here, 3,000 votes, 2,000 votes, 2,000 votes, 2,000 votes. And these aren't in 3,000 votes. And this is just pushed out to the wider YouTube community. And if you do it daily, it pushes it out to the community of people that frequently respond to community posts, whether it's on a channel they know or a channel they don't know. Because that's just how YouTube algorithm works. But let's continue.
An entire argument broke out. When Aliver from Iluna asked for duration, he replied he didn't know if there was even a set duration. So from what this rat is saying, there is a suspension already out for Uki Violetta because of what he said. Not necessarily because of what he said, but because it made Nijisanji look bad, of course. Because Nijisanji doesn't care what you say as long as you're part of the in-group, part of their favorites, or whatever you want to call it. What they really care about is if it makes the company look bad, which this certain Uki situation did. Made him look extremely bad. Even if it was part of his persona or whatever you want to call it, or he's white or whatever you want to say about it, still made him look bad. And in answer to another question, I know for a fact this much does not breach the agreements.
I mean, that should be obvious, right? Nijisanji is known for its edginess, its edgy humor, its edgy talents, right? It would be obvious if you could say this would be like the rule of Nijisanji, and especially EN, right? Because the Japanese don't speak English, apparently, right? Unless they've been educated in Japanese, which would mean that they have that privilege to learn English, or it's forced on them to learn English, like Mr. Tazume-san, right? He's the CEO. He has millions of dollars, right? Of course, he knows English, right? Maybe he's not super fluent and knows literally everything about English, but he knows a lot, enough to conduct, at least from what we know, because Triple T said so themselves, business dinners with 3 people that speak fluent English, and he's able to talk to them. So he knows English, right? Obviously, the people lower down the ladder, the lower you go, the less English that they're going to speak. Even the talents. A lot of the talents, they don't speak English. Why would they need to learn how to speak English? They won't need to unless they want to. You don't learn a second language unless you want to, or it's beneficial for you to do so.
At least 2 other livers have divulged considerably more information anonymously in another website. Management was made aware, and it was concluded they were not in breach. As soon as the tutoring coaching session ended, PR managers that were either hired for this express purpose or PR managers from the main branch, I don't know, we have not gotten a lot of information about what happens moving forward. I know for a fact Illyra, Enna, Millie, and Reimu received more tutoring communication, but I don't know what it entailed. They simply stressed we should go back to streaming as soon as possible, provided we are certain we can control our community and avoid infractions. Again, like I said, this is unverified. This is a dude claiming that he is part of Nijisanji EN and sending out information. In answer to certain questions, he says, I genuinely know that it would not be in breach of agreements because 2 other livers were effectively caught leaking information with express timelines and names, as well as directing third parties to disclose the co-workers' private information. Management concluded they were not in breach. I have spoken to legal counsel. I'm not an idiot. The argument about drama tubers, the nature of art, and lamentations about white people, I've personally seen 6 people type the pet name out on Discord. I don't know if there's any more than have used.
Please don't tell me there's a Discord kitten in the Nijisanji Discord.
It in voice calls. I gave my quote-unquote 2-week notice more than 4 months ago. Interestingly enough, that's not how it works in Nijisanji EN. Shame on me for not carefully reading the contract. It was another liver that leaked the graduations. I never used LK alias on any of my posts. No, Rosemi was not a manager. Rosemi was never quite in the clique, but she was a satellite. The worst she's done was nervous laughs when coworkers were disparaged in front of her. It's up to you whether you deem this an accessory or a victim. I never liked how they treated her. It reminded me of Nina's treatment before she unfortunately embraced and fell in love and fell in line. I did not make it.
I think Rosemi is a bundle of joy. And of course, I'm a rosebud, so of course, take my opinion of her with a grain of salt. Now, I don't idolize her, but I see the passion, especially when it comes to fighting games. I see the passion of her learning. I see the passion of her talking to her chat and engaging and creating jokes and stuff like that. And of course, that's not exclusive to Rosemi, right? That all the talents do that because that's part of streaming. But it's like, man, fuck it. I'm a rosebud. Who cares what I think?
Nick, to follow the rose post.
Don't listen to me.
I only made 2 posts
Don't listen to me.
And about the Save Me Pink Girls tweet and about how characterizing her as an in cahoots was not accurate. So Rosemi was not in the clique. This person is actually verifying that there was a clique, which is interesting as a leak. Because people were saying, oh, you know, the clique is just, you know, hearsay, it's just a rat, whatever.
No, of course there's a clique.
If this person actually works for Nijisanji EN.
Bro, there's a clique in every career field on Earth. Of course there's a clique. People do bad stuff. And when people that do bad stuff get power, they look for other people that are willing to do bad stuff with them or for them. There's corruption in every single field when it comes to anything because humans are naturally corrupt. What do humans with power and wealth want? More power and more wealth. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Look, I know y'all want to pretend. Oopsie, sorry. What if I ended the video there? But I know y'all want to pretend everything's all good. But come on, guys. Come on, everybody. Come on. You don't pull my leg.
Then this whole click thing is the fact that they verified it here kind of makes sense with how everything's been going so far. It's been very odd, very one-sided, I guess you could say, when it comes to a lot of things. And I find that very interesting, but it makes more sense with this guy. That is all I have today in regards to all the new rats that are occurring in this whole atmosphere. Of course, like I say, always take this with a grain of salt because we do not have any way to actually verify things. We are not inside of Nijisanji EN. We are not inside of these people's heads. We cannot tell because it's all anonymous, so it could be true, it could be all false, it could just be sprinkled.
Yeah, it could all be hearsay so we don't get sued. This is a great video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.